Hi, I'm Jo Barker. Welcome back to my crafting, mainly crochet YouTube channel, where in the past couple of videos I've been doing reviews of craft kits that aren't crochet, but today I'm reviewing a kit that is crochet. This kit here. This is a DIY crochet kit found on Temu. As you can see, only just over £10. So that's about $12 US, I think. Yeah, the exchange rate is pretty even at the moment. So this kit should make this crocheted moon cloud house. Now, I am not 100% sure about this image. I really do feel this image could be AI, but we'll see. So let's have a look at the kit. First off, on the bottom of the kit, it's got this warning: may result in addiction. If any of you out there are crocheting, you know that it is an addiction. And if you've started, it's too late for you. You are addicted. So we're starting off really strong here. This is a good quality bag that I cannot open. It's one of those bags that you can reseal. Oh God, nail varnish is terrible. And this kit is very full. We've got a image of our design and QR codes to a video tutorial and a step-by-step PDF. The kit comes with a guide for beginners crochet, and it is very informative. It tells you how to begin and how to use the basic stitches and how to sew pieces together. That's a compressed bag of stuffing. We have a crochet hook. We've got some darning needles, stitch markers and wire. And we have got our yarn. And this is milk cotton. Now, if you haven't seen my previous videos on milk cotton is actually a mostly synthetic fibre made out of polyester and acrylic. And sometimes it does contain milk protein strands, hence the name milk cotton. The colours match, so I'm happy with that. And I think this could be enough yarn to get us through. The hook we have is quite small. It's a 2.5mm. Now, I won't be using the hook from the kit. I'll be using my own 2.5mm hook. I just prefer my own hooks. They're longer than standard hooks. If anyone's interested, they're the Addy Swing line. I do prefer these hooks. Okay, the pattern. It doesn't state what colour we need to use. So when doing main house structure and house bottom, and as it's not specifying a colour to use, I'm going to start with the colour we seem to have most of, which is this off cream colour. Kit does come with stitch markers as well. Decided to try and use the materials in the kit when I can, and not to go outside of the kit when I can. The pattern looks really good so far. We're increasing by 8, which does lead to a much flatter bottom on your pieces, and it's also double layered, and also states when you're joining up these layers as well. Double layers are great if you're going to be adding structure inside it. It does say to add like cardboard or things into it as well, which it doesn't provide, but I wouldn't expect it to. I mean, you don't have to put these structures in. It's an option. So I'm using the blue, which is going to now make up the main structure of the house, to join the two cream bases together. This entire pattern is in US terms and seems to be mainly using single crochet for all of the stitches. That is a double crochet stitch if you work in UK terms. Now, when I had finished the body of the house, this was how much blue I had left. And there's meant to be a lot of blue still to be used. So the inside layer, I chose to do it in the cream colour again, which I had more of, because this is meant to be double layered all the way down to the base. So this means that we've already been lied to, well, fibbed to, I guess, with this pattern, because we were told we would have everything we need. This is from one of the product's descriptions. It says here, no need to run around looking for extra supplies, every tool included. From high quality yarn, which I also question because yes, this is milk cotton, but milk cotton is fairly cheap, and while some milk cotton does include milk cotton fibres, this one isn't. This is one of the pure polyester and acrylic mixes, which is fine. They're lovely soft yarns. It's just I wouldn't necessarily say it was high quality. We don't have enough yarn here to finish this project in the colours that I imagine it's asking for, because it doesn't tell us what colours we're actually to use. We're just using the image as a guide at this point. So I'm starting in the correct colour according to the image for the first part of the roof. It seems to be that the roof is going to be in two parts, and we are starting with the white section here. It just seems to be a straightforward, like a witch's hat sort of shape. See, full on witch's hat. We've even got the brim. Now, we are meant to be using blue here to make the tile details over the roof, but I do not have enough of the blue left. So I chose to take the green from the kit, as we would need so little of it to make the trees, and do the tiles in this colour. This is going to be something I'll be changing later, but I'll explain why later. At this point, I was just trying to see if I could just use the yarn that I had in the kit to finish this entire project, because then at least I can say that the overall quantity of the yarn was enough to make the project, not too much focusing on the colours. Trying to give this kit the benefit of the doubt here, because this kit does have some positives, but matching its yarn amounts doesn't seem to be one of them. I mean, the beginner's guide that comes with it is absolutely fantastic. I haven't actually viewed the tutorials on YouTube yet. I will do that by the end of this video, so I can inform you about them. It's just when you actually look at the pattern, it isn't beginner friendly. The how-to guide in the kit is beginner friendly. The yarn is a lovely yarn for beginners to use. I wouldn't say a 2.5mm hook is a nice one to start with. I'd definitely start with 5. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, there's not going to be as much footage now because I actually finished this while we were away camping over the weekend, and I forgot to bring any of my phone stands. So I'm just stuck doing little bits like this, where I'm indicating that I'm now going to work with this little bit amount of cream that I have left to do the underside of the roof. Now, I did take with me some extra white milk cotton, just an extra skein, which I think is about 25 grams, just in case I needed it to be able to finish this project. And this is as far as I got with the base of the roof before I had to switch to using my white. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting mic distortion. It was becoming very clear to me at this point that I did not have the materials I needed to finish this project. There was simply not going to be enough yarn whatsoever, ignoring where the colours should go, to finish this project. Right, so now the pieces I need to work on are pieces like this base here, the steps to the door frames and the door windows, and this is all of the brownie creamy yarn that I have to do that with. It's not going to be enough, I can guarantee it.
I think I've been working on the frames of the doors and the windows, but I'm not entirely sure. So I actually did the door in the darker of the browns that we had, and I think I might need to unpick that for the yarn for the actual door.
Spoilers, there was not actually a piece in the pattern to create the door.
This is the round window piece. So here, so I'm assuming there must be felt or something behind here, but the pattern hasn't told me that, and there's been no felt in the actual bag. And this one here is meant to be for a pointed window, and it's only told me on the pattern to make one. Everywhere else where it's wanted me to make multiples, it's actually told me, but this one has only said one, and we can see 3 pointed windows here. And the pattern has said to do a set number of chains, then a set number of half doubles US terms down, and then it says simply +3 single crochet, again US terms. No indication where they need to go, so I'm just going to put them in this end stitch here because I honestly can't think of anything else to do with it. Actually, if that's the top point there, that's not too bad. Okay, right, I'll just continue with the pattern. Maybe it'll instruct me later that I needed to have made 3 of these windows.
So as you could hear from me there, we were starting to have difficulties with the pattern instructions. It wasn't instructing us to make the correct amount of any of the items that we were adding. And there did seem to be things missing. Like I say, these window sections here, they do look like they've got some sort of backing, like felt. But there's no felt in the kit, and the pattern never states for us to use felt.
Okay, I'm really getting confused now because it's saying these 2 parts make a lock. Don't really make anything out on the image here, but there's a button in this pattern.
This button here. Now, I always assumed that this was going to be the door handle, but it never states when to sew this on.
Alright, now I'm just getting mad, right? This is meant to be step 1, which I'm assuming is this step here. Right, that's curved. This is not. Also, keep in mind these instructions are meant to be beginner friendly. This is what the pattern said the step begins with. That is supposed to mean that you are working around the chain you are working. Set an increase and 7 stitches along here, 4 in the end, 7 across, and finishing with an increase. I know this because I have done loads and loads of patterns. A beginner does not know this. And when I've checked the instructions on how to crochet, there is nowhere where it shows you about working along the backs of chains. And you might also say, okay, that step, it's not that far off from that. Not at all. Maybe that is a flat. But this is how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's meant to have another 19 rounds on it. Another 19 rows, rounds, whatever at this point. Why? Why? You know, it's making me question everything now, because this top bit here, I wasn't too bothered by the fact that it didn't already curve there. I just thought, oh, you know, it's just going to be a construction thing. You put the moon here and you bend it round. It's for a beginner. Now I think that this is an AI generated pattern that then someone's gone and thrown yarn in. Because I'm also out of this yarn now. So I've only got the dark brown left. And I'm getting really, really annoyed. Sorry, no. This is the bottom step there, which is very curved. I'm meant to be doing the top step now, and I'm having to use the other brown. Because as I said before, I'm camping, I don't have access to everything, and I have gone and used up all of the white now doing this base. Right, once again, this second step is meant to have 27 rows or rounds, so that meant it which should be the same length as this. So, and that's wrong, it should at least be 1 row shorter. Right, because I'm camping and I'm having to now scavenge pieces, I'm gonna undo this, which was the base piece to go underneath the roof here, just to give it a bit more stability. And then I'm going to unpick the inside of the main body of the house to get this yarn here, just to give me a bit more yarn to see if I can get some more of these pieces done.
Okay, what I'm complaining about here is this is meant to be the stars that are along the moon here. This is not a star pattern, this is a flower pattern. There are a way to create points. These are not points, these are petals. And the pattern has only asked me to make 1 of them, not 5. And then we come on to more oddities with this pattern. Because I'm now meant to make cloud petals. What the hell are cloud petals meant to be, you ask me?
Ever wonder what cloud petals look like? Apparently that's that, but they need to be stuffed, so they're actually balls. And this is meant to be a cloud base that's then meant to be sewn on the bottom of the house. That tiny little piece there. To the bottom here. So why? Why? Yeah, I'm really getting annoyed with this pattern now. And this is meant to be this moon piece. I think it's safe to say now I am dealing with a AI image and a pattern that's been tried to put together by different pieces. Alright, so I'm still camping, but I do have this blue yarn. So I've unpicked the green here. I've unpicked the moon. I'm going to redo the moon in this little bit of cream that I've got left so it matches there. And I'm going to finish this pattern using my blue here, which you can see is quite different from the little bit of blue that I've got left there. Right, let's get this done so we can judge it properly.
Oh, and just throwing it in here as well, I did also make the tree. There are 2 trees on the image. We only have a pattern for 1 tree. This is meant to be the top of the tree, and this is meant to be the trunk, and then it requires all of these tassel pieces to make it into a tree, and it just looks awful. Okay, so I'm clearly back home now, and before I start putting all of these pieces together and show you the end product, I wanted to show you one last piece that I didn't put in the other footage. It's the moon part of the house, of the roof of the house. And if you can look behind me here, it's the exact same shape as that moon plushie. That moon plushie was a free pattern I found on Pinterest. And it is the exact same pattern as this. It's just that is done in much thicker yarn. It is stitch for stitch this. So this is stolen as far as I'm concerned. I don't care that that pattern piece was free. It should have been credited in the pattern. I think it's very clear that this now is definitely an AI image. This pattern does not create it. This kit is a rip-off and it is deceptive. There is not enough materials here to make this piece. There is no felt to finish off the window details. There is no pattern for the door, full stop. Even though this kit contained wire, at no point does it instruct you to use the wire. This is not a beginner-friendly project. So I'm going to put all of these pieces together so we can see what the finished outcome of this AI pattern that has been cannibalized from the entire internet by the looks of it actually looks like. Let's see what this kit actually gives us, because I guarantee you it is not this. So, final thoughts. This is AI generated. It does not crochet like the image. It is not a beginner friendly pattern or a beginner friendly project. However, the kit does contain everything you need to start crocheting, and it does contain a beginner friendly guide to crochet. That's all the positives that I can give this kit. If you see it, don't buy it. There are hundreds of makers out there who've put together good kits for beginners. See you next week.